Russia's war in Ukraine is now in its fourth month, and more U.S. troops have headed to Europe to defend NATO's eastern flank.
With the growing threat from Russia and China, has the U.S. looking not only east, but also to the far north. VOA's Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb took to the Arctic skies of Alaska for an exclusive look at the U.S. military's multi-billion-dollar transformation of the remote Eielson Air Force Base.
Here we go.
Soaring in an F-16.
All right, here comes Afterburner.
At the top of the world, backseat with the U.S. Air Force. Over America's last frontier, Alaska.
All right. They got checked.
At times flying faster than the speed of sound.
We are now supersonic.
An F-35, America's newest stealth jet. Beside us, a sea of snow-covered peaks below.
15,000.
The tallest in North America, the majestic Denali nearby.
Beautiful, isn't it?
My pilot, Major Lloyd Wright, call sign Bond, has navigated these skies for the last 7 years.
I've flown a lot of places in the world, and this is like the best airspace in the entire planet. It's absolutely a national treasure.
But American fighter jets aren't here for the views.
The military calls this strategic airspace. We've just arrived at the Arctic Circle, and from here, fighter jets can reach anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere in a single flight.
And it's hard to understand that looking at a normal map that stretches Alaska out over the top of the map. But when you look at a globe, it becomes very apparent how close we are to really anything in the Northern Hemisphere.
Europe is just across the Arctic Ocean. Mainland Alaska is less than 100 kilometers from Russia, and Asia just across the Pacific.
We're closer to the Indo-Pacific than they are sitting in Hawaii.
With growing fears of Chinese and North Korean attacks. A few years ago, the Defense Department was looking to close most of Eielson.
DoD argued that the cost to operate and maintain Eielson was expensive due to the environment, the climate in Alaska, and ultimately they proposed a major realignment.
Airspace larger than Florida, right here in Alaska, right behind me. And all of that was on the chopping block.
Alaska Senator Dan Sullivan tells VOA the people of Fairbanks, the city closest to Eielson, pushed back. So did an independent commission set up to evaluate the Pentagon's proposed base changes.
Because they found that it wouldn't actually generate the original savings expected. The commission also argued that Eielson was important as an airbase because it has great air ranges and extensive complexes.
After downsizing Eielson failed to take off, the Air Force did a 180, ordering its training squadron of F-16s to stay put, while deciding in 2016 to add not one, but 2 new squadrons of F-35s. 6 years and 54 of these F-35s later, Eielson is a combat-ready base equipped to fight at a moment's notice. These combat aircraft are worth about $5 billion, and the Pentagon has spent an additional $600 million building more runways, more hangars, more fuel tanks, more upgrades to accommodate the new jets and new people.
Case in point, it's always busy here. There's only ever about 20 minutes where there's not airplanes flying around right here.
The last 2 jets landed here in April, just in time, Sullivan says, to deter Russia's power plays.
They've been doing Bear bomber missions. We've had to scramble more F-22s to go intercept those bombers, probably more than any other time since the mid-1980s. So they're aggressive here too, and the only thing that Putin understands, the only thing, in my view, that Xi Jinping understands in this new era of authoritarian aggression is power.
The new F-35s at Eielson, combined with the F-22s at a base in the state capital, give Alaska more than 100 combat-ready 5th-generation fighters. That's more stealth air power than anywhere else